right, welcome back to the one-on-one cast. And today I have a very special guest, um, Olympian, Masters Olympian, multi-show winner, and the New England legend. Um, Happy to present y'all today with Robyn Mays. Robyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, the people didn't hear, but like we were just talking about, you just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. Just turned the big 6-0. So,
So before we get into the topics that we have tonight, that's crazy because I'm gonna pull up your physique here really quick as well. Your physique doesn't look like a 60-year-old physique.
yeah, I've been told
Your
that.
physique looks like a 30-year-old physique at the oldest. Um, what do you contribute some of that to?
I think because I got started later, I didn't start competing until I was 46.
Okay.
So, I think I don't have the wear and tear on my body. Like, I literally never lifted weights before 46 years old.
Oh, so you just started at 46 and said,
Yeah.
"All right, this is
Yeah.
this is what I'm gonna do."
And I started in bikini. So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. So for you, was it just like as you started to grow, you were just like, I like muscle, like I want to just keep pushing this?
I mean, my point is, like, why bother if you're not going to, like, reach your full potential? And bikini's a nice starting point because you get the feel of the stage and what it's all about. But my legs, they told me then, they were like, you got a nice walk, but your legs are way too big for bikini. So even now, girls have gotten a lot bigger since then. So, but yeah,
For
they were
sure.
like, so I moved over. I tried figure. Figure just wasn't enough pizzazz for me,
Hmm.
especially back then because it was just strictly quarter turns. So then I went into it's called um, Fit Body, which is women's physique. The difference is they wore shoes.
Okay.
So imagine doing those poses with those shoes on there. That
With
was
those
fun.
shoes. Yeah. So what year did you start competing?
2013.
13. Okay. So same as me, 2013.
Yep.
We've been at this for a minute now.
Oh
I
yeah.
just I was just the other day I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, man, like 13 years over a decade doing this, that's crazy.
Yeah. We were talking about we were trying to figure out how many shows I've done. I think I've done 31 IFBB shows, 5 NPC, no, 4 NPC shows, and that's if you count Universe.
For sure.
Um, and then before that, I was with the WNBF. I was a natural competitor. I I used to do like 7, 8 shows a year. So I don't even know how many shows I've done. I've
That's
probably done at least 60
that's
shows.
crazy. So
Yeah,
you got to be up there for the record for like just shows competed in general.
probably.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Um, so I think I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you turned pro in 2016 at the Universe.
yep, yep,
Yep. Okay. Okay. So a decade since you turned pro.
yeah.
How does it feel? So for those who don't know, Robyn had a very special client in Universe this year, and she ended up taking the overall in figure.
Took everything.
Well,
Yeah,
she took everything,
yeah, yeah.
everything, and she looked fantastic. How's it feel like 10 years later, like seeing? I mean, your protege, right? Like,
She is. She's gonna. When she first came to me, she was bikini, and I took one look at her. I'm like, you're not. I'm like, who told you you were bikini? And she's with some coach. I don't remember his name, but I'm like, girl, no. I said, if anything, the minimum is figure. But honestly, I think she's gonna be women's physique in a few years.
yeah,
But so it was 10 years, and it was the exact same day on a Thursday. It was my mom's birthday,
that was crazy.
and her number was 7-2.
That's crazy.
I was like, holy shit! And it was her first time. I won my pro card, my first NPC show, my first national show, and it was her first national show, and at the same venue. So yeah, I was
That's
like, that's pretty cool.
that's amazing. That's like that's meant to be. That's like it was written, you know?
It was. It was. I
For
told her, I
sure.
said, everything's aligned. It's gonna happen. And she was shocked. You know, she well, when I was able to get the live stream, it was kind of iffy down in Aruba, but I was able to get it to see her win the Masters. But I didn't see the Open because it just went out. And I told her, I texted her, and I said, "You won the Masters." I said, "You won your pro card because you were dead center." Uh, I said, and I don't know. I said, I couldn't see the Open. And she's like, I don't know where I was. Because, when you're on stage, you don't know. And then people were texting me. They were like, oh, she won everything. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and then a couple people were like, yeah, she's overall. She's going to win overall, too. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. And then when she did, I was able to see that. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So the A class that she was in, I was watching. That the class was incredibly competitive.
It was.
I'm gonna say that lineup of figure at Universe is probably the best lineup of figure I've seen at a national show in a really long time. Across Masters, Open, everything. Like it was
Yeah.
tough.
Well, there was like in the Open, I think there was like, what, 6, 7 classes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went deep.
Yeah, I was like, because I seen those tall girls, I'm like, that's got to be class D, E, or F or something. And then when I looked at the scorecards, I'm like, oh, it did go up to F.
Yeah, they went deep, and I think there were very few women there that shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? Like
I seen two,
yeah,
literally only two.
yep,
And
yep.
usually you see, 4 or 5,
Mhm.
but I literally seen, and it was like one who was like, maybe something happened, but there was one that was like, nah, honey, I don't
Yeah.
know who you working with, but you just made a donation.
Yeah.
You should have been there.
Participating, not competing.
Exactly. I'm like, this is not a transformation show. So.
Yeah. There are a few of them out there, but overall, everybody was really good. Let me pull up your profile really quick so everybody can see. Share screen. Share screen. All right. See if that popped up. Yep. Here we go. All right. So everybody go give Robyn a follow. Check out her content. Here's her page, and let's go down. All right. Let's click here. So you have now qualified for Masters Olympia, which is next year, correct?
So I haven't actually qualified for it. Is next year, but I haven't qualified yet because you have to win the 40. So even if you win a 50 or whatever, it has to be the 40 class, which I don't
Okay.
understand why, but
Okay.
I ain't worried about it. I'll get that.
No, you definitely will get that. Let me just pull up a couple physique shots. Here's one from Toronto. Side tricep looking crazy. So this was your qualification for the Olympia last year, correct?
Yeah, the qualification for the Open Olympian. Yeah.
Yes, for the Open Olympia. For everybody just wondering, not just Masters, Open Olympia. Now, how does for somebody who might never get me, I'm speaking about myself, might never get an Olympia qualification, what's that feeling like?
Man, it's surreal. I was like, because the oldest competitor up there besides me, I think was in middle 40s. So I was like, I always wondered, I'm like, would they let me? Do they want someone my age to win? You know what I mean? Regardless of whether you look the part or not. Because, it's a business.
For sure.
And then I remember talking to Steve Weinberg a couple of years ago. And I said, Steve, do you think I'm too old for this? And he's like, absolutely not. I said, okay. I mean, I didn't feel like I was, but you just don't know how things work. So winning that, like when at first when they called third, I'm like, okay, I'm not third, so I'm top two. And then they called the second place girl, and I was like, holy shit, did I just win this? And I was like, yeah, I don't like. So yeah, I held it together. I didn't cry. I wanted to though. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to cry because I was like, holy shit, because I was already qualified for the Masters,
Yeah.
which was in Tokyo. So I was like, okay. And then everyone asked me, are you gonna do both? I'm like, absolutely. like,
Yeah.
like I probably won't get another chance to do this. I'm definitely going.
Yeah. That's that's a point of contention that gets talked about these days amongst um some of the talking heads in bodybuilding. They say, "Oh, if you're not ready for the Olympia, don't go to the Olympia," which is the craziest thing to me ever. Cuz like you said, there's a chance a person might never make it back to the Olympia.
Exactly. And it's an
Go
experience, I will tell you that.
for
And
sure.
to be able to say, because with that show, I actually made history. I'm the oldest competitor, male or female, to ever go to Open Olympia.
Insane.
And I don't see anyone breaking it. They'll have to be 60 to break it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
unless I break it, which
Yeah. Yeah, you might break your own record again for sure.
well, you never know. You never know.
That's right.
Um, but yeah, I was like, why would I not go?
Mhm.
And to be up there with the best of the best. And it's funny because there were women on that stage that I had beaten, and they beat me that day, but I have beaten them in the past. So
Yeah.
you never know. It's any given day.
Yeah.
It
It
depends
really
on who shows up and how they show up. Because you can have an off day. Some people don't peak. Every peak is different. So what you relied on before might work, might not. So you just never know. I mean, look at the difference with Natalia and Sarah. They go back
exactly.
and forth. So
Yep. Um, if you had to now this is a tough question, especially like off the top, but if you had to say a moment that stands out in your head from your bodybuilding career, like that just always just feels like a perfect moment, what would that moment be for you?
I would honestly win in my first show. Um, actually winning my pro card would probably be
Yeah.
one of the top moments because I won my pro card. I was 100% natural. And it was my first try. Didn't tell anybody. Like maybe 5 people knew. Because I was like, I'm going to go. If I get my ass handed, nobody needs to know this. So I went, and I remember the girls saying, "Oh, what do you figure?" And I was like, "Holy shit, I'm out of my league." And I kept thinking I'm out of my league. And then as we were lined up, one of the girls turned and she's like, they kept looking at me, and I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, "Yeah, they're thinking this little small girl because these girls look jacked." And one of the girls said, "How do you get your legs like that?" And I was like, "Okay, I got some fear in me." So I was like, all right. And that just like boosts my confidence. And then I found out later from over the years, like Sandy, Steve, they've all told me, they said backstage at check ins, you look so small. But on stage, you just look huge. They're like,
Yeah.
Sandy told me, she goes, I had to look at your name. And she said, that can't be her. And she goes, you like, I'm like, yeah, well, I said, that's
It's
a good thing then.
it's one of those things that I say like social media is an optical illusion, right? Because everybody looks better on social media usually than in person. And then there's some people who, on their social media don't look as crazy as some people, but then once they get on stage, you
Yeah.
realize they're the real deal. And it's why I always try and tell people don't put too much stock into how everybody else looks on social media because the stage really tells all secrets at the end of the
Well,
day.
I mean, most people they're gonna put a filter. They're only gonna put the best pictures. You take like 20 pictures and you post one.
Yep,
So, um,
100%.
and then sometimes even if it's just a good picture, they just look bigger.
Yeah,
I've seen like just recently, that girl, what's her name? Sarah Bradley.
Hmm.
Everyone was talking about how huge, and she does. She looks huge in her pictures. If you look on my page, I got a picture with this group of us. She's standing right next to me. She's not as big. People complaining saying she should be bodybuilding, but
Yeah,
I mean, she is moving up to bodybuilding. She has potential, but I really think she looked physique,
yeah,
in person. But in pictures, no, she looks bodybuilding.
yeah.
So
In pictures. That kind of leads me to a question. Do you like the direction that women's physique is currently headed? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, like, especially with some of the younger girls, these coaches, and a lot, most of them, well, they're all male coaches. They are pushing way too much, and I don't think they're looking at the big picture. They're not going to be able to compete at 50, 60 years old like I can. They're not going to be. I
Yeah,
mean, if they have their health, that's good. Most of them will be retired by the time they're 40
for sure.
if they keep going the route they're going.
Yeah,
I mean, they just want to get bigger and bigger. And I'm like, it's not a, to me, it's not supposed to be about just size. It's supposed to be the whole package, the
yeah,
symmetry, the femininity, all of that. And it's just kind of taken away from it where it's just like, I get it. It's a business. It's a freak show. Everyone wants to see the big person, the big freak, just like with male bodybuilding. I mean, it used to be all about aesthetics, and now it's the big mass monsters. But for women, it's like we have it hard enough as it is. So I'm like,
yeah.
why you just making it harder?
Do
And
do you think it's because this is the question I always go to when it comes to divisions slightly changing. Do you think it's in the hands of the athletes to bring a certain look to the stage, or do you think like the way judges reward certain looks dictates where that division's gonna go?
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
But in reality, the athletes have the deciding factor
yeah.
because just because, all right, they awarded it at one, like, I'll use Sarah as an example. She won the Omaha, perfect score. She came to Toronto, she came in fourth. Two different sets of judges. So
Hmm.
one preferred more of the size, more of that look, where others like, and I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked when they called her for fourth because I was like, fourth.
Yeah,
I mean, if she would have been second, I wouldn't even blinked. But fourth, I was like, that's okay. I'm like, whatever. I was
yeah,
just happy to make top five. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I
yeah.
make top five. Being in top five in an open class, and like the Marika who won is 40. She's same age as my son. I'm like, girl, please. She's the same age as my child. No, she's cool and everything, but I mean that's how I look at it. I take it serious of what I can do. I control what I can control. I can control what the judges want that particular day. So
I think that's the most important thing with bodybuilding, and I think a lot of competitors, whether it's at the amateur level or the pro level, kind of get lost in. At the end of the day, like we have to be enjoying this. Like
right,
if you put all your stock into placings and like your emotions are tied to how you finish every time, like you're gonna get burnt out in this sport really quickly because it doesn't love you back the same way you love it most of the
right.
time.
But
Yeah.
and that's 100% true. You're not gonna get. I have some people that younger kids in the gym. They're thinking, "Oh, you're IFBB pro. How much you get paid?" I'm like, "From my job." Because I'm like, IFBB don't. I'm like, honey, that is not even a drop in the hat of what I spend. I'm like, it's not even
Yeah.
10% of what I spend. And they're like, really? And they're still thinking, I'm like, those days have been over. I said, those were the Ronnie Coleman days. No, I said, they don't
Yeah.
have magazines and sponsorships like they used to. I'm like, they don't need it. We have social media. So it's like, why would we do that?
That's right.
Um, yeah, I mean, you got to do it because you love doing it. Um, for me, I just like challenging myself. Like every year, I try to come in better than the previous year, and I go get a DEXA scan done twice a year just to see my muscle mass. And I actually gained from last year to this year 2 pounds of muscle, which they said it's impossible. And
Crazy.
I'm like, no, I'm
Like
still
I'm
gaining
doing,
muscle.
yeah, I'm doing it though, so it's possible.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, and you know, people, everyone's different. So
that's right. Um, that's an interesting segue talking about like how the excuse me contracts and the sponsorships are different. What in your mind, since we started bodybuilding about the same time in 2013, like what do you think has changed since over a decade ago? What's changed for the good and what's changed for the bad, do you think, in this sport?
I would say for the good, more people are aware of bodybuilding. Like, just came back from Aruba. I didn't realize bodybuilding is huge over there. Like,
Really?
yeah, I didn't even realize until like at the airport they were like bodybuilder, right? I was like IFBB. I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah. And then another guy that worked at the gym there, he was like an IFBB pro, and I was like, oh shit. They followed me. I looked him up. I'm like, oh, he really is a pro. I thought he was like just saying it. And then
Yeah.
I met a waiter, and he used to compete, and I was like, wow, it's pretty big over here. So yeah, it was shocking. So that part I think is good. The bad part is social media. Social
Mhm.
media just, oh man, it like it gives an illusion, and everyone thinks it's all glamorous. And I've had clients where they're like, and I tell them I get up at 3:45 every morning. I work a 9 to 5 job, and then I go to the gym. And then I said, I'm dealing with you guys. This shit ain't easy, but you have to want to do it. And they're like, oh well, I forgot to send my check-ins because I overslept. And I'm like, you don't get your check-ins to me by 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, I'm at work. I'm
Yep.
not looking at my phone to respond to your check-in before that. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you can't do this? And these are people that don't even have kids. They don't even have like, I mean, they have jobs, but it's not like they're surgeons or anything. I'm like, come on now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think social media has made everyone think they can do this sport. And I tell people it's not for everybody. It really isn't. A, you have to have the mindset. And B, some people genetically just are not blessed. And it's cool to want to work out. I think working out is great, but competing is something totally different.
I'm glad you said that because I think for a long time the mantra in bodybuilding has been you just work harder than the next person, which is important. It's
It is.
important. And I never want to tell somebody that's not important. But like you said, there's a genetic component that goes into this that unfortunately, no matter how hard you work, if you don't have some of those genetic components, it's just not in the cards for you.
Great. I mean,
And
I feel bad for people that, I've seen people work so hard. And, it's just like, honey, you just don't have it. It's
yeah,
just sad because then you have people who are genetically blessed who slack.
yeah,
And it's like, it's almost like it's not fair, but, it's like, well, it's like, not everybody can be a basketball player, you know?
exactly.
So,
We can't all be LeBron James,
exactly,
it's not realistic. Um, so I think that's a good segue as well into one of the things we want to talk about tonight is like the pro card expectations
yeah,
and how I mean on my end how freely people talk about like, oh, I think I'm gonna go for my pro card,
yeah,
which is man, I'm split because I never want to be that guy that just like I never want to talk negative to people because like
right.
I don't think bodybuilding there's no place really for negativity in this. But once again, being a realist, it is so I don't think people understand. It's so damn hard to get a pro card in you have to be so good. Everybody at the national level is so good. It's just, I think there needs to be more respect given to the fact that, like, if you turn pro, that in itself is like you're in a one percentile. Like, you are that good. Um, and once again, I think social media, like you said, is is part of the problem that sparked this. That everybody thinks that, like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do the bodybuilding thing, and I'm just gonna turn pro eventually. It's just not how it works.
Right. And then there's coaches who, and I've heard and read it, where, oh, this person's gonna go pro next year. I'm like, really? You think it's that easy? I mean, I look at it this way. There are, like, I'll use my client Tess. Tess is genetically blessed. You can look at the girl and see she's genetically blessed. But she also had to put in the work. She was supposed to do the Rhode Island show, but because of conflict with school and everything, she just wasn't going to be ready. So we decided, all right, let's pull back from that. There's no sense in pushing for that, where the goal is to do Universe. And she had to bust her ass those last 3 weeks. But because she's genetically blessed, she was able to do it. Now, if she wasn't, no, she wouldn't have been able to pull that off in 3 weeks. No, not at all. But like I told her, I said, okay. I said, I'm going to give you a perfect example. I said, I was in the Natural Federations in 2015. Yeah, 2015. I won WNBF World Championship. And WNBF used to be big. That's where Sean Clarita, Kai Green, we all came up from there. 2 weeks later, I went and did the Yorton Cup and won a second world championship within 2 weeks. The following year, I go get my pro card, decide the next year, 2017, I'm going to do a pro show. My first pro show, I was 16. I was like, oh shit. I got my ass handed to me. I was like, oh, okay. So you go from winning, like I was winning shows like top 2, like on a regular. And like I said, I used to do anywhere from 4 to 8 shows a year. And I was placing in the top 2 and winning world championships. And then you go to your pro show and you think, yeah, I got this. And I'm like, 16th? I was like, oh, okay. So I told Tess, I said, yeah, you won the overall and all that. You might, I said, don't expect to walk right in and win. Could it happen? Yeah, it depends on who shows up.
Yeah.
But I said, let's be realistic about it. I still think she has potential top 5.
I agree.
I really do. I don't care who shows up. Yeah. I told her this, and I'm going to put it on record. She's probably going to kill me because I say it, but I'm going to put it on record. She's next Sid. That's it. Yep. That's the next Sid right there. Mm-hmm. And people may not see it, may not agree with me, but anyone who's seen her in person on that stage, she's the next Sid.
She is the real deal. I mean, that waist is non-existent.
Oh yeah.
Those lats are ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Shoulders,
the everything. Like she needs
to bring up her legs a little.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but I say within 3 years.
Yeah.
She'll be yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, she's the real deal.
Yeah.
Let me pull her up quick while we're talking. Yeah. The pro card thing, it's funny you say that because I was saw a competitor today and he had done like a little interview at a local gym and with one of the trainers. And the trainer, he used to compete himself. And they were just, the trainer was like, I think it's ready for so-and-so to go pro. And respectfully to this kid, he is, he's a good bodybuilder. He's built pretty well. But I don't like the what's the word for it? The just the disconnect with reality of how hard this is. And if you don't have all those genetic proponents, it's really hard to get over that hump of just like a good regional competitor to like really,
Mhm.
vying for a pro card. Um, and it's tough when you're around people that don't necessarily know the sport, right? And so they're always saying, "You're gonna win your pro card, you're going pro." Um, that's a really and I think when you have a competitor like him and you have, like, yes men around you saying, "You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that," eventually it gets into a competitor's head, and they
Oh,
might think that they are that person or they are that good, and it's not necessarily their fault, it's just kinda sad to see.
yeah, it is. And most of the time, the coaches that do that are coaches who haven't done anything. And it's like, dude, how you gonna tell someone they gonna go pro and you couldn't even do it?
Yeah,
It's like, and even like with Tess, I never told her, "Oh, you're gonna go pro." I told her, I said, "You're gonna do well," but I always, like, I kind of knew. I said because I can give her all the tools. She can be genetically blessed as she wants to be, but unless she did the work, it wouldn't have made a difference. But she did the work, and that's what made the difference. I mean, when people are like, "Oh, congratulate me," I'm like, "What are you congratulating me for? I didn't do it." They're like, "Yeah, but you were her coach." I'm like, "I guided her. She's the one
that's
that
right,
had to do it." Like they say, you lead a horse to water, can't make him drink.
that's right.
So, like, she did the work. I just gave her the guidance.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times coaches get a little too obsessed with the like, we turn pro,
Yeah,
do this. Like you said, we give the guidance. We're not they do the work. We just give a little bit of plan here and some
yep,
suggestions and just guide them to it. But like I'm not the one doing their workouts. I'm not the one eating the food for them. I'm not the one doing the cardio. Um, let me pull up Tessa here so people can get a look.
yeah. I had so many people freaking reach out to me. They're like, like my phone. I'm in Aruba, like supposed to be on enjoying my vacation, which I was enjoying it, but I was at that poolside trying to get reception, running around like a crazy person. I know people were like, "What is she doing?" I was holding the phone up to the sky, putting it back down, and I'm going like yelling at the phone. I'm like, "Jesus Christ, come on!"
Yeah, that shape is
Yeah,
bananas. Absolute bananas.
yeah. And we went through posing like just the Sunday before I left. I left on Monday, and the Sunday before we left, we spent like 3 hours just going over. I made sure she got her massages, her muscle scraping, and then we went over posing and posing and posing.
Well, it paid off because this package was incredibly dominant at Universe.
Yeah,
So congratulations to her once again for winning it 10 years after her coach. That's
yeah.
that's crazy to me.
That was the most because I thought about like, wait a minute, I won mine. It was July 2nd. And the only reason why I remember because I couldn't do the 50 because I wasn't 50 yet. Because I won my pro card like the day before I turned 50. And I was like, that's right, it was July 2nd. And I'm like, holy shit, she's doing it. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, it was on a Thursday too. And and then when her number came out, I was like, Tess, that's my mom's birthday and it's 10 years. And she was like, no. I'm like, I swear to God. And I sent her the link and she was like, holy crap. I said, it's a good sign. And then, of course, after I seen the prejudging, I knew, um, but I waited because I didn't want to like get in her head. You know how sometimes like some people, if they already know they got something, then they don't try as hard. And I'm
Yeah.
like, she still got to do the open, so let her get through the open, and then I'll send. And
Yep.
then after she did the open, I was like, "Girl, you already won your pro card." She goes, "How do you know?" I said, "You won your pro card."
I
I said,
know.
"You were
Yeah.
dead center." I said, "You were dead center." I said,
Yep.
"Tyler moved you, and then he moved everyone else, and you stayed at dead center."
Yeah.
I said, "So I don't know." Like I said, couldn't see the open, but I said, "We know you got a pro card. Now, do you have two of them? Don't know." I said, "But you have a pro card." I said, "So get ready for overall for the Masters."
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was good.
She was really good. Yeah, the universe holds a special place for me. That's where I turned pro as well. I won the 35 heavyweights and then the overall in the 35. So yeah, I guess universe holds a special place
It
for all of
does.
us.
It
It's
does.
it's a
Yeah.
really fun show. If anybody on the East Coast hasn't been to it, I highly suggest going
Yeah.
to Universe and watching um because it's
Because
really
it's
good.
like 3 days, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can pick which day you want to go if you don't want to stay for all three. You know, if you just want to see a certain group, at least you can do
Hmm.
that. I think when I did it, I remember we went to Cheesecake Factory. We came back. It was midnight. It was after midnight, and the Bikini Girls was still on. And I was
Yeah.
like, and that's the following year. That's when they started breaking it down into 2 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely I've done a couple national shows that went to the long hours of the morning, and that's a
Yeah,
long day for
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, that's funny you say you went to Cheesecake Factory after. So after New York Pro this year, I went and watched the New York Pro. I went to Cheesecake Factory for my first time.
Oh,
First time
really?
ever. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was good. Their menu's overwhelming. They got like too much
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It is. It's like
All right. So what do you get when you go there?
I usually get raspberry cheesecake.
All right.
That's my favorite. And I usually just get like a burger,
Yep.
but I really just go for the cheesecake.
That's what I got. I forget which one I got. I think I got the I think it was the red velvet cheesecake.
Yeah, that's a good
It
one.
was good. It was very good. I'm a big cheesecake guy, so yeah, it hit the spot.
I
Um,
had so much cake this week. Like I didn't even eat it because the resort knew it was my birthday, so I got cake at breakfast, and then at the pool bar they brought me a cake, and then we went to the restaurant they brought me a cake. I was like, look, I would take like a bite just to be polite, but I'm like, yeah, I can go back into prep when I get home, so I'm like, I'm not gonna get too far.
okay, so you're back into prep now.
I am started prep today.
Okay, and now what specifically are you shooting for right now?
The Masters Worlds,
Okay,
so it's in 9 weeks.
9 weeks. Okay, and it's because I mean you're pretty lean coming off of your last show. Is there a lot that you have to diet down for, or is it just kind of you're just kind of on cruise control? No.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just probably like 7 pounds. Um, and
Perfect.
honestly, it's really like 5 from what I did in Toronto, but I want to be a little bit leaner, so I'm saying like 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I think
Now where's this show?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Gary Udit show. It's the
Yep.
North Americans.
Okay, so it's in
Yes.
correspondence with that one.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Interesting. We're gonna try and come out to NAs this year because we have another friend, Chris, who's competing, shooting for his pro card. So no guarantees, but we'd like to be at North Americans this year. So that'd be cool if we could come and watch.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's a short little plane ride.
yeah, I'm not driving it again. So I've driven it twice from Maine. That shit is like 13 hours straight.
I'm like,
And
no.
I would
The most I've done. I wish they had more local shows, but the closest they have is New York Pro.
yep.
And that wasn't a bad drive. It was like 3.5 hours. That wasn't bad. I actually liked it because I could just throw everything in the car. I don't have to worry what goes through TSA and all that other crap. But yeah, because that's traveling, and that's why I was telling Tess. I was like, now, we figure there's a lot more shows. I said, but now you have to travel.
Mhm.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yep.
It's no
You
just
can't.
throwing everything in your car.
Yeah, exactly. You got to figure out the flights, the Airbnbs, all
Yeah,
that food.
yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's different for sure. It's fun though because I think for me, half of what's fun about bodybuilding is like traveling to new places
Oh, yeah.
and experiencing new gym, just all of that that comes with it.
Have you done any competitions outside the country?
No, no,
That's where it's really fun. Yeah,
that I
I've done
would.
the Masters Olympian in Romania. That was fun, and then Japan. Obviously, that was just on a whole nother level. Japanese love bodybuilding.
I wanted to ask how was Japan because my friend Doug he did the Masters Olympia over there last year. He did the 212 and he said Japan is the craziest place he's ever been.
So technology is crazy. Um, but the fans, so it was like at convention center, and you know how they have like sections. Man, we had a pretty big section. I was like, okay. I came out in the hallway, and the fans were in the hallway on the live stream because they had sold out. Literally, it was standing room only. I've never been to a show where it was just a pro show, especially where there was like literally standing people on top of each other. I was like, what the hell?
That's
But what I
crazy.
didn't like they did the announcement and like they'd call your name, and I was like, okay, this we're not in the WWF.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it took like 5 minutes for him to say a name. I was like, we're gonna be here. Oh my.
Yeah.
And then I found out later that half the people didn't get paid. I was like, okay, this is some bullshit. But
Yeah, that was a big thing. I remember when that
oh
happened, people
yeah,
not getting their money, and that's crazy.
because Japan was not cheap. That was
Yeah.
not cheap to get there. I'm like, wow, because that's what other people think. They're like, you have to pay. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, even with the shows in the States, I said they don't pay for you. The only thing they do pay for is Olympia. When you go to Olympia, they pay for that. So
That's dope.
yeah,
That
that
that's
was
super
pretty cool.
dope.
Yeah, I have my Olympia jacket, which I'll probably like frame it because I'm like I'm always scared to wear it because I'm like I, if somebody steals that, I would just be heartbroken.
For
Um,
sure.
so
I'm
yeah,
just I gotta say the Olympia jack is the coolest thing ever.
yeah,
I
you get the
would
whole outfit though. So
you get a
you
whole
got the
outfit.
leggings, the sports bra, and the jacket. I was like, oh hell
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
yeah,
Oh man. One thing I did want to ask as well is like as you progress through your career, has your training changed at all, or do you still pretty much train the same way you did at the beginning?
it's changed because so when I first started training, like I said, I had never lift weights before 46. So and then I did a show. Um, I don't know. I think I came in like third, and to me, if it's not first, it's I lost. That's how I look at it. Like there's first, and then there's nothing else.
Yeah.
So I was like, So I took that winter, and that's when I discovered how strong my legs were. And I was like, oh shit. And the guys were like, God damn. They're like, are you gonna put all those plates? I'm like, yeah. And I mean, I can leg press 315 with one leg, and people are like, what the hell is she doing? Um, and it's not a big deal now, but back then it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I did legs, and then I took everything as a body part. Every body part was like a piece of the puzzle. So every year. So then when IFBB, when it got near, they were like, well, your upper body. She really broke it down to me. Sandy's like, your lower body kills it. Your condition, she said, no question. She said, but you got to grow your upper body. So I literally took like 18 months and didn't work legs. And I just concentrated on upper body. Back, shoulders, back. Like it was back, shoulders, chest, arms, back, shoulders, chest, arms. And that's what I did. And then, so I actually lost a little bit of size in the legs. But then this year, um, well, yeah, this year. I started back to working legs because I feel everything's more symmetrical now, so I can bring back the legs.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good. So you just still kill it the same way you did 10 years
Oh,
ago.
I've
Just
always been heavy lifter and high volume. I love volume,
mhm.
and I know some people like when they train with me, like most legs. There's very few women that will train legs with me. Mostly the guys, and then they end up tapping out because they're like, "You want to do 30 sets and 20 reps?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." Um,
That is a lot of volume for
oh,
sure.
I like love volume, and so yeah, I'm back to doing that crazy stuff again. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens this year. But I got 9 weeks.
Now weeks to perfection.
I
Absolutely.
honestly think. Well, I don't think I know. When I put my mind to something, I always try to bring it to fruition, and I want to bring the perfect package in 9 weeks. So I have a game plan. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be something. The goal is to bring something they haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I think you will. I think you will. Do you think that all of us, not, I'm not gonna say all of us, but the majority of guys and girls at the pro level have something a little bit wrong up here?
Oh, 100%. Who wants to torture themselves? Starve yourself, be sore.
Yeah.
Up to this days I question it. I'm like, why am I doing this? You wake up
Mhm.
sore, go to bed hungry. I'm like, and you don't have to do this.
Don't have to do it.
For what? That little medal? I'm like, I
Yeah.
got a friggin' ton of them. Like all my trophies I put down and they were in my garage in their bins. I just
Yeah.
put them in bins and everyone's like, well, what? I'm like, they dust collectors. I'm like, so I keep the, after a while, so I keep the medals and then every year I take the years before and put those in the bin.
Mm. Mhm.
And eventually they'll all go in the bin. Let me see if
Yeah.
I can show you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's see
See
if I
these
can.
trophies here.
I don't know. Can you see those?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have these here.
Oh yeah. You got a lot of them going on.
Oh yeah. So yeah. And those are the ones that I have up here. The other ones I just bring them down, put them in the bin. And I'm like, oh, nobody wants them.
You know. Yeah. I sometimes I do the same thing. When it's not like at the end of the night. Usually when we're sitting around, sometimes I go, "This is just crazy. What we do. Like it's crazy." But I will say, I don't think I grew up playing basketball. I played in high school, prep school, college. I don't think I think bodybuilding for me has felt more like home than anything else I've ever done in my life, if that makes sense.
It's it's something that like I tell people, there's a lot of things you don't have control over in life, but we have control over how hard we work and what we put into our bodies. So that's satisfying by itself. Um, you know, I see with a lot of young kids, I watch them, they'll do a set and then they're on their phone. Like, I'll be like, dude, I need to use that machine.
Yeah.
You've been on there for 5 minutes texting. I'm like, and then they wonder why they don't get results. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you're spending more time on your phone than you are actually working. And then form is all jacked up and they want to do all this crazy weight. And I'm like, no contraction of the muscle. And like, yeah, I just had a guy, I worked out with a guy probably about a month ago. And he's like, and I gave him 5 pound weights. And he was like, I said, yeah, we're going to do lateral raises. And I said, it's called 6 ways. He goes, 6 ways. I'm like, yeah, you go side, front, up, back to the side, down. He got to like, he goes, well, how many? I said, we're going to do 10 reps. And he got like to the second set, and he was like, "Oh my god." he was, these weights. He goes, "These feel like they're 40s." I'm like, "Yeah." I
Yeah,
said, "It's not always about how much weight you lift; it's the contraction of the muscle." I said, "The body
100%.
doesn't know if it's 5 pounds or 50. It just knows it's getting fatigued."
Yep.
I said, "That's how you have to look at it." I said, "Because lifting all the crazy weight, you're putting too much pressure on your joints and your ligaments. And if you want to do this over time, you're not going to be able to. I've knock on wood, I've been injured one time in 15 years, and that was because I tried CrossFit.
Mm.
I don't know what I was thinking. I tried to do a snatch or whatever it's called. I snatched something, all right.
Yeah, you said.
I messed my shoulder up so bad I couldn't even do lateral raises with 5 pounds. I was like, damn it. It took months. And I said, you know what? Never again. I ain't trying that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets like that when you get deep into the bodybuilding. Some of those other things are off the table. I don't play basketball anymore at all. I won't go out on the court. I won't not playing 1-on-1, not playing 21, nothing. It's just too the risk versus reward is too high.
It
You know,
is.
I can't it at this point, sitting out a year because of an injury is like for me, I can't do that. Like I can't waste 2 years to get back to where I am now. I
Exactly.
don't have the mental capacity for that at this point. So yeah.
I tell people I'm too old for that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell them in a minute. I'm like, Nana's too old for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a nana. As my son said, oh, you're a nana when you want to be, when you don't want to do something. All of a sudden,
Yeah. You pull out that card.
And the other time, he's like, why I do it? I'm a bodybuilder.
All right. So last thing I'm going to ask in this interview, what are you currently watching right now? What do you like? What do you watch movies, TV shows? What are you into?
There's a show on Netflix. It's called Unseen. You gotta watch it. It's 2
Okay.
seasons. I did the first season because I downloaded it because the flight to Aruba is 5 hours. I was like, all right, I need something to take me through. And man, I was like, okay. So part 2, season 2 is out. I gotta watch that because the way it ended, I was like, yeah, there's definitely got to be a season 2 to this, and it is. So
Okay.
yeah,
Unseen.
yep,
All right. I'm gonna have to look that up.
yeah,
Right now,
it's good.
we're watching a show called Snowfall on
I've heard of
I think it's on Hulu, but it's loosely based on Freeway Ricky Ross and like
that. Yeah,
bringing cocaine into California. It's a good show. So yeah. All right, Unseen. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna check
yep,
that out because
it's a
we
good
need
one.
something new to watch. Unseen. Anything else in particular? Any styles of shows you like?
Oh, I'm locked. Chicago PD, Law and Order. I watch that on repeat.
All
Like,
right.
yeah, everyone's like, you done seen this like 3 times. I'm like, shut it up, it's good. I said, hey, I know how to murder someone and get rid of the body. I'm just saying, you need somebody.
Hey,
I
if we
watched
need,
enough episodes. I took some notes.
oh shit, that's funny.
No,
All right.
but besides that, I don't really
Yeah,
watch a lot of TV. I don't have time.
that's what I say
Like
too.
right now, my thing popped up and said, "It's your bedtime."
Nope.
Like, no,
There's not enough time to really we really watch shows like Saturday and Sunday morning for like 2 hours. Besides that,
yep,
I don't really have the time to watch TV, honestly, between everything else going on, you know.
yeah.
Well, Robin, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Um, we definitely gotta do another one where all the guys are on and we can really
Yeah, I said
talk.
what they got scared. They're like scared of
Yeah.
Nana. You know?
Well, I know a couple of them were out of town this weekend, and then a couple people are traveling and doing fourth stuff. So we'll try and reschedule one so we can get on and just shoot the shit and not
Yeah,
just do so much of a one-on-one thing.
that'd be cool.
Awesome.
All right,
All right. Well,
all
you have
right.
a
You
great
enjoy the rest of your night.
night. I will link all your stuff in the description below for people to check out your Instagram. Um, and we'll be watching your prep, and good luck at the upcoming show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a great night.
Okay.